Before we get started talking about the teams, some champions to use, and things, my opinions, I want to ask, what do you think about this event? So I've watched a few other content creators' videos, and most of the comments are saying this event's not good. The person making the video is paid by Plarium to promote this, and that we're just shills. And I'm really lost and confused because Plarium has not sent me no money to promote this, but I'm not promoting it. I just want to give you guys an approach to actually finish it because I'm going to be doing it. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's about 3,000 energy to get a chance at a soul that would potentially change my account. I mean, a 6-star Narcisse, a 6-star Siphi, even a 5-star plus. So most of these champions I just don't have. So Armand 6-star could be great. Or at worst case scenario, if I was to get a high-star soul of one of these champions that I already have, I'll just sell it. It's no problem. Of course, I could get unlucky and get, or actually probably more realistically lucky, and get a epic at 2-star, which is unfortunate as well. But even some epics, maybe I want a 2-star soul for, maybe to help me out in the Cursed City, so on and so forth. But I want to hear your opinions and what you think about this event. Are you going to go for it? And if you are going to go for it, guys, I got a few different teams. The first team, I'm not going to showcase it, but this is a video I did a year ago. I'm not going to gear my champions in this way, but it's using Dark Hell and Allure. Now, if you're going to do this, make sure that you actually put epics as your food champions, because if not, you're not going to get the rewards. So this team is made up of 2 champions who are pretty easy to get. Dark Hell's a free champion from Doom Tower, and Allure, hopefully if you played long enough to get to Fireknight stage 25, hopefully you have her. If not, I'm sorry, feel bad for you. Now, the gear for these champions isn't the easiest to hit. I don't think. Maybe it is, actually. I thought it was regeneration gear, but maybe it's not. Let's see. So I'm actually, so she's in regeneration. I think Dark Hell's also in regeneration, but you can watch this video if you want to see the exact builds on these champions. Both are in regen, relatively fast, kind of low crit rate because they don't need 100%, only 85%. But that's the team that if you want to watch that, you can go watch that video. I'll leave it linked down below. But the team I'm going to share, we'll talk about some champions after this as well, but I'm going to be doing stage 20. Stage 20 is cheaper than anything above stage 20. It's more efficient. It's the most efficient as far as the rewards you get, the energy you spend, and it's going to allow you to finish this event with a little less than that 2750 energy, which is a 2,750 points, I believe, required to actually get this. So you're going to finish this, I'd say probably 2,600, maybe 2,500 energy, just really depends. This team that I'm going to be using, though, is pretty easy, pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and relatively quick. So when doing this, I want to have a team that's fast, but using epics only, you miss out on the Kymars, you miss out on the Renegades, you miss out on the Painkeepers, you miss out on those other reset champions that do everybody. But with Nia, there's a little secret positioning that I, until recently, didn't even know about. But if you put Seer in the very front, and assuming nobody takes any damage, then the Nias are always going to reset the Seer because she's in the leader spot. Any champion in that leader spot, the Nias are going to reset. So we use her in place of like a Renegade or a Kymar or anything similar to that. So she's resetting Seer in that second wave. And then when we get to the boss, I got the other Nia going to reset Seer. So now Seer's going to go into with a big hit here. Just a moment, big hit there. My Seer's not quite built up enough, not quite enough buffs on the team to actually one-shot the boss. But if we did, that'd be a 45 second Fireknight stage 20 run, which is really not too bad. But now we just get another reset on Seer. Since it's a 2-turn reduced cooldown, it's not the full reset on Seer's skills, unfortunately. But now we finished it in 53 seconds. Really not a bad time whatsoever. I have Fireknight in here for the ally attack to break the Fireknight shield. Allure for some turn meter decrease. She is weak affinity, so she will get resisted sometimes. Not a problem. Sometimes the speeds actually get a turn on the second wave. The enemy takes a turn, and they can kill this Nia. If they do, it's not a problem either. I still end up killing the Fireknight. Now, as far as the presets go, let me show you guys what I got going on. So Seer, number 1, Karma Burn, round 1. Number 1 there. Just copy everything. There's reasons for it. I don't really want to explain it. There's really no reason to, honestly. Look at the speeds, and then copy these presets. Fireknight is relatively fast. One of the Nias, so this Nia right here, is a little bit faster than Seer, just because I want her to open with this and then place her Bark Flesh after Seer already strips everything. So Fireknight is pretty quick. I actually have him turning off this ability after he uses it the first time. I only want him to break the shield with it. And then after that, I don't really need him to continually cast it because Seer's A3 is what's going to kill the boss. And if he keeps casting this, it just takes the animations much longer. The fast Nia on the team, no specific speeds, but she's opening with Bark Flesh on the first round to give Seer some buffs to strip. The second round, she's opening with the reset. The other Nia is not using the reset. And then the fast Nia is not using Bark Flesh. And then round 3, we have these presets for the Nia. There's specific reasons for this. The reasons are basically around the Bark Flesh's uptime. It probably doesn't make a huge difference, to be honest. But if you want to just copy my run exactly, just do this. Faster Nia. She doesn't have to be significantly faster. She's just the fastest one I have. I use her in my Wixwell team. And the slow Nia is what we'll call her. Both turn off on round 1. We have the reset turned off on round 2. And then round 3, we have the presets like this. And then Allure, not really anything crazy. Round 2, she actually uses this ability to hopefully put sleep on the enemy, I think, Arrow, so that hopefully he doesn't hit me. And then round 3, she's only using the A1 ability. So we do have 100% crit rate on her. I did have 85% on her earlier. She doesn't hit as often. But if you're using your Allure on stage 25 Fireknight, if you're still doing that, then having 85% crit rate is fine. But in this case, I want to have her 100% because I want her to crit all the time. This champion right here, I think it's Arrow, right? Maybe. Either way, this dude, he can actually get a turn every now and then. He did before. But with the decreased speed and stuff, if you had Evil Eye as well on your masteries, that decreases the turn meter, I think by 5% on AoE hit, then he's not very likely to get a hit because your Nias are both doing decreased speed AoE. Chances at doing the decreased turn meter, they don't have that currently. But the main goal of this team is just getting to the boss, breaking the shield of the boss, getting Seer to that big nuke. That was almost a one-shot. That was like extremely close to being a one-shot. That was awesome. So Seer is 6-star, Crushing Rend, pretty high. She's +4, so she is taken up pretty high. But as you can imagine, she doesn't need that second Karma Burn. Like, it's not much damage that is needed, and she's doing fine there. So if your Seer is, 3-star awakened, even no awakenings, it's going to be fine. You may have to put a little bit more damage on your Seer, but it's probably going to be fine. I mean, 2 Karma Burns with all those buffs up, you're going to be okay, right? So as far as the champion builds go, and then we'll talk about some other options as well as my opinions on this event. So my Seer's in Slayer gear. I mentioned this before. It's very, very good. Slayer gear plus Zeal, very nice sets to have. Now for Fireknight specifically, she's pretty beefy. Like, she packs a punch. She has 400% crit damage. She is definitely a very stout Seer. The Zeal set as well, she's very well built. Now with the skills, this is what we got going on. And then Masters, we have Flawless Execution for a little bit extra crit damage. Helm Smasher can do more damage on its peaks. The Flawless Execution is going to be more consistent. Plus, my Seer ignores a lot of defense as it is. Now, Allure, she is just relatively fast, good accuracy, and crit rate. We don't really need crit damage on her. She's not really doing damage in this situation, but this is her build. So fast, accuracy, good to go. And then for Masteries, we do have Giant Slayer, not really needed. Her Blessing is Phantom Touch for an extra hits on the Fireknight shield. The Fast Nia is Curse Set for Wixwell team. She just needs to be relatively fast. Doesn't matter what her set is. And then Masters, we have War Master. Once again, doesn't really matter. And the Slow Nia is actually in a shield set. If you can get anybody in a shield set, it's going to help you out. More buffs for Seer to strip. Makes it a little bit easier for her to kill stuff. And then she's booked. No Masters on her. I was using Whisper earlier in place of one of the Nias. It works out fine. If you wanted to do that, it's not a problem whatsoever. And then the Fireknight, he is currently built as missing some pieces. He also, for Masteries, there we go, War Master. And then for the actual stats, let's see. We have 272, 263 accuracy. He does place decreased defense, so it's a nice thing to have. Now, if you're looking for some champions to use in Fireknight, honestly, the best thing for you to do is come in here to your filters, go epics only, and then go debuffs. Decreased speed, something great. Okay, who has decreased speed on your account? It's easier for you to do this than for me to say, hey, and this is what you should have. We look through here and we say, okay, decreased speed. Royal Guard has it, but he's Magic Affinity. Maybe not the best on stage 20. He can work. Gonna have some weak hits, but maybe not the best. So who else we got? We got a Stag Knight, who has a decreased speed on the A1, plus some good stuff for wave controls. Okay, so Stag Knight is a great champion for Fireknight. We have Skimfos with a decreased speed, an AoE decreased attack, can do some pretty good damage, and a turn meter steal as well. So Skimfos is way high up there. Very good champion to be using on Fireknight. And then Ruella, maybe another potential option here. Okay, so we have several decreased speed, decreased turn meter options as well. Allure is obviously the top, but if you have a Skimfos, he can very much do what Allure does. Very, very good champion. So now maybe you want to get an epic champion who just does good damage. For that, it's going to be difficult to sort, hey, give me damage, please. No, nothing's going to show up. So what you're going to do here is you could go for okay, let's see, buffs. You could go increase attack. Some of the good damage dealers are going to pop up here. Like you have Ragnar, he can hit pretty hard. We have Miss Rider Dithy, AoE decreased defense, does pretty well. Then we have Whisper. She can make some big chunks from the Fireknight's HP for sure. She is a hard-hitting champion. So if you can get her in here, especially with a decreased defense paired with her, then you're going to have decreased defense plus weaken. Her A3 is going to give her an extra turn, and then her skills give her a chance at extra turns anyways. Give her a high blessing. She will basically do what Seer does, but in a little bit different faction. So Whisper is an awesome champion to have. There's a lot of different champions, and honestly, it really comes down to what's on your account. It's going to be how you build the teams around. Like if you have an Ugo and you want to use her for decreased defense on the waves, well, use Ugo. If you have Seer and she has, Slayer plus Crushing Rend, well, you probably don't need very many buffs or very much damage on her anyways. Like she's going to hit hard enough on stage 20 to probably wipe the waves if you can get, good Slayer, good defense ignore stuff. It really comes down to your gear, your account, your champions. Of course, if your Seer's not one-shotting, well, you probably don't want to use her because it's not really going to work great with the Nia combo, because if other champions get damaged, well, Nia's going to target those to heal them over giving the Seer the actual reset. But if everybody's equal with HP, then she's going to target the Seer for the reset. Now, as far as the summon pool here, I think we have several amazing champions. I mean, I don't have Marichka, I don't really want her soul, but if I did get her soul, I wouldn't be upset because if I eventually ever pull her, it'd be a nice thing to have. But these top 4, I have them all. Tons of these champions I have, and I would love the souls for. Even a Razovar. I don't use him, but if I got a soul for him, I definitely would use him. Pretty crazy in Hydra. Yosher, don't have her. These champs down here, I don't want any of their souls, but if I got them, it wouldn't be the worst thing. As far as the tournaments go, I mean, we get a 5-star speed glyph, which isn't bad either. We get some ancient shards, an ancient shard, just one. Some potential rewards over here. It's using epic champions only, and it's not like you're doing this for nothing. Of course, if you're going for the fusion and you're limited on energy, well, maybe you don't want to do this. But if you have enough energy to spare between the two, well, maybe it's not a bad idea to do. You're going to get some CVC points. You're going to get some rewards from Fireknight, like possible gear upgrades. Not very likely, because let's be honest, depending on where you are in the game, Fireknight's probably going to be difficult to get gear upgrades from, especially stage 20 specifically. The higher stages, it's going to be easier, of course, but it's really subjective. Like some accounts are going to get massive benefits from stage 20 Fireknight. Some accounts, like my account, we're most likely not going to get any gear. After doing 3,000 energy, probably not going to be any good gear dropped from that. So it really just comes down to where your account's at and if it's worth it for you or not. For me, it's worth it. I'm going to go for it. The chance of getting one of these good champions is there. If you look at the price value, essentially, of these shards, it's going to be about $4.50 per shard. Or per pool, I guess. So per single pool, about $4.50. So if you think about, okay, finish out this event for $4.50, we're using free energy, we're basically getting $4.50 worth of a pool, as well as some free resources throughout, potential placing over here, because a lot of players probably aren't going to participate in this very heavily, but it seems like a decent return to me. But you guys let me know what you think down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thank y'all for watching. Those are my 2 different teams. And of course, there's tons of different options for teams you can build. You're looking for 200 plus speed. You're looking for, I believe, 250 accuracy, right? 225 accuracy, somewhere around there. Actually, no, it's probably 200 accuracy. 200 accuracy, 200 plus speed, and then just some survivability, and you should be able to make it through fine. Just make sure if you go with the Dark Kale and a lure route that you actually bring food that is epic champions. Don't bring rare champion foods. So keep that in mind, guys. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate you all, and I'll catch you in the next one.